Hi everyone, got another knife review for you. This is the Spyderco Dragonfly. I've actually reviewed this knife before when I visited Young's Backpacking. However, these are my knives, multiple Dragonflies. You can tell that I like this design. And I'm just going to do this review because I've come across some extra information that you might find interesting. But I will leave the old one up just because that version was in serrated edge and this is a plain edge, and this way you get to see different versions of the Dragonfly. So let's get started. The Dragonfly actually came out in 1994. It is actually Spyderco's first design with the 50-50 finger choil that you see right here. So that gives it a special place in the Spyderco's history line. And since then it's been put out and it's been a popular seller as a lightweight carry knife. In the first year it came out, from 94 to 95, that version of the Dragonfly is actually very different from the one that you see here. It had a narrower blade and it was hollow ground instead of flat ground. And the pocket clip was, it started below the lanyard hole instead of starting at the top with the lanyard hole going through it. And it was made out of either G9 or G2 steel. From 96 all the way to 2007, you see a version of the Dragonfly that's pretty much exact to the one that you see here. They switched over to this wider, flat ground, leaf-shaped blade. The pocket clip changed to the one that you see here, and then from 96 to 2007, they switched over to Oz 8 steel. Actually, I should talk about that. Because the Dragonfly, the most common version is probably the Oz 8 version, just because it's been out longer, a lot of retailers will try to sell it either intentionally and they're being unscrupulous, or unwittingly. A lot of retailers don't know that much about knives, and what they do is they'll just put the knives up for sale and then copy and paste the information. That's actually how I got this Oz 8 version. So if you guys really care about steels, contact your retailer and ask them to check for you before you buy it if you're really worried about it. Now, Oz 8 is a great steel. It's a good medium line steel. It takes a razor edge and it's supposed to be easy to sharpen. VG10 is a better steel, and for the same price, try to get the VG10 version. However, this is a small lightweight knife that you're going to be using for really fine light cutting tasks. So the Oz 8 version will do you just fine. It'll be able to hang and do everything that the VG10 blade will, especially for this size and the purpose that you're going to be using this blade for. But if you really want the best version, contact your retailer and have them check. If you see the knife in the case, there is a way to tell. As you can see here, they both say Spyderco. This one says VG10 and this one says Oz 8 stainless. If you see the knife in the case and it's closed, the way to tell is the VG10 version, you'll see the 0 in the 10 right here on the blade, whereas the Oz 8, you'll see it says stainless, or you'll see the LESS right here on the blade. So if you see it in the case and it's closed and you can see either a 0, it's probably VG10. If you see the less, then it's probably the Oz 8 version. But as it is, Oz 8 version's fine. I mean, you're going to be using this for light cutting tasks. You're not going to be trying to chop down a tree or baton with it. So in this case, for something this size, the steel doesn't really matter as much. VG10 will hold its edge longer, but Oz 8 will be easier to sharpen, so it's kind of that balance just because VG10 is stronger. I really like this knife design. It's super comfortable, very good in hand. Between the finger choil and the thumb ramp, I feel like I have a lot of control for doing fine cuts, and because of the flat ground, this thing slices through paper quite easily. As for the pocket clip, at first I didn't like the FRM pocket clip because if you look at it, there's going to be a lot of it sticking out. But this knife is so small that even when I have this clipped in my pocket, I don't feel a lot of confidence. I feel like it's going to slip out. So what I usually do is I just have it riding inside my pocket. One thing I did notice though is sometimes on the weekends I'll just be wearing pajamas and I'll have this clipped inside the waistband. It's so light and it's so small that I forget I have it on me. I've like gone to sleep and not realized I had this until I was changing clothes. So it's a really light knife. It's only like 1.2 ounces. And I don't really mind this sticking out when I'm sticking it inside like waistband of pants that have an elastic, say like gym pants or something like that, or sweats. One thing I would have liked though is I would have liked the clip to extend more than halfway. I would have liked to extend all the way to the end of the handle just for more retention, so it rides a little bit deeper into the pocket for more security. And if you see there's a little bit of space right here, I would have liked the clip to have touched the handle like so for better tightness and retention. By having this space, this knife will be safer clipped into trousers that are made of a thicker material, like say blue jeans, but something thin like say slacks that you would wear to an office, I think this is a little bit light. You might want to just put this completely in your pocket. Has a Boyd detent. Basically the idea behind that is for lockback knives, if you're holding it too tightly, the pressure from your hand will disengage the lock, but I don't think that's really an issue with a knife this small and this light. Because of the choil and the thumb ramp, you're going to be holding it in a pinch grip like so, and as you can see, my hand's not touching the locking mechanism bar at all. They just put this dent so that it wouldn't as likely be disengaged. It doesn't matter to me. If anything, I think it just adds to the aesthetics of the knife, and it shaves maybe a fraction of a gram, so that's fine. But it feels really good in hand. Also, another thing about the FRN is at first I didn't like it because I thought it would break, but it's actually proven to be quite durable. And another thing about the FRN handle is when you're holding it, it's warm in the hand versus a metal clip that you'll be feeling when you're holding it. I quite like that. And one more benefit about seeing the FRN handle is that people who wear knives clipped with a metal clip, sometimes if you're walking too close to something like, say, a car door, you might end up scratching it because of the clip. Don't ask me how I know that. You won't have to worry about that with the FRN, so that's actually fine. I actually like the FRN on this knife for right now. One hit I will give this knife that I wish were different is it's still a pinned pivot design for the pin. I would have liked them to have a screw just so that I could use a torque screw to adjust the tension on this blade. As it is, all 3 Dragonflies that I've received out of the box have had no play side to side or up and down. They've been very solid on the lockup, so that's fine. But would have liked a tension screw, because if anything loosens up, I'm going to have to send this back to Spyderco to have them tighten it up. There are a bunch of other versions of the Dragonfly out right now. According to the 2010 Spyderco catalog, you have a stainless steel handle version, which I don't like just because stainless steel is a little bit cold in hand. Plus it's heavy enough, like 2.6 ounces, I might as well get a full-size knife like a Delica. There's another stainless steel version with a beautiful pattern on it. That would be nice as a gift to a friend. And they also have a G10 handle version. Now the G10 handle version and the stainless steel handles both have metal pocket clips. This has a solid clip and the G10 has a wire clip. I don't know if you can see here. Like that right there. The G10 is supposed to be more sturdy and durable than the FRN. However, this is a light task knife. You don't need that kind of sturdiness, and it's heavier. And it costs almost double the price of the regular FRN version. So I actually prefer the FRN version to the G10. Looks nice, and one thing it does have that the FRN doesn't have is it has jimping on the thumb ramp and on the finger choil, I believe. So if you're really hung up on the jimping, you might want to check out the G10 if you're willing to spring for the cash. As it is, it's a small knife, and jimping would have been nice, but I can live with it on this knife. It's a light task knife. I'm not going to really need to tighten really hard to hold on to cut through like a branch or something like that. Great lightweight knife, feels awesome and ergonomic. And even though the Spyderco Delica is my favorite Spyderco, I actually end up carrying the Dragonfly more than anything else just because it is so light and I can have it on me without worrying about bulk or anything like that. If you're a collector, there are a couple other versions. There's a white Sprint one where it's FRN but made out of white material, and I think there is a carbon fiber version, but that's really hard to get, and I think it had a limited run of maybe like 1,000, and it's offered in tip down only. Oh, that's another thing I should mention is because the FRN clip is molded in, this knife is only really good for people who like to carry right hand tip up, which is what I like. If you're left-handed or you like tip down, you're out of luck unless you want to get the G10 version. The G10 version is still tip up only, but you can adjust the clip to go to the other side. And I'm not sure about the stainless steel handle. I don't see an opposite clip on the other side, so I'm guessing this is only still tip up right hand. So if you want left or right handed tip up, you might want to check out the G10 version. That's it. Great design, very affordable, not too expensive. I just love it, and the aesthetics are great. It's probably one of my favorite knives of all time, and I always have one on me. So that's my little review of the Spyderco Dragonfly. Oh, check it out. Oh, one other thing I should talk about is before I run out of time, is the closing. Some people don't like lockback knives because they think they're hard to close. I find that with this, I can push on the tension bar and flick it forward, but I can only do that with a lighter, heavier knife because the knife blade is so light. I have to flick it really hard in order to get it to fly forward, as you can see. For me, what I do is I shift my index finger, move it forward, then depress the locking bar, then move it like so, then I can close it one-handed. So, pretty nice knife to hold. So that's my little review of the Spyderco Dragonfly. Give it a shot if you're looking for something lightweight that looks cool and is ergonomic. And thanks for watching. Have a great day, guys. Bye.